on and stay engaged with our conversation. Of course, part of driving your revenue and marketing yourself is networking, and RODNEY has been terrific about helping me network in venues other than Broad Circle, ProVisors, and other venues, and I really appreciate that about her. And Andi is going to talk to you about different ways that you can market yourself as professionals. TRACY Williams is this amazing public relations guru. Her business is actually one of the top 25 rated female-owned companies in Los Angeles. And JUDY JERNUDD is going to do something really fun for you afterwards, which really actually has something to do with what I'm going to tell you about in my little comments this morning. JUDY is a leader of the ProVisors group, but also the CEO of Startegic. So I did one of her coaching sessions, and I thought it was interesting and fascinating to be videoed. I actually nowadays get to see myself on video all the time. And you know what I do every time I see myself on video? Oh, yikes! Oh! You know, so JUDY was very helpful in kind of helping me see myself in a different way. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is, has anyone seen Amy Cuddy's speech at TED, Power Posing? Fake it till you make it?
I like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So it is a very interesting dialogue. You should click on it, and we'll even email it to you and have you look at it. So the basic premise of her research at Harvard and her talk is that your body language impacts your mind and your outcomes, so your success, right? And so she studied this in primates and other animals and also human beings. And she happens to kind of see the alpha person operating in a venue that's very unique, Harvard Business School, right? Where do we, Harvard Business School, we all think, top alpha people. Well, even at Harvard, there are people that are sitting in a corner, very, very small, raising their hand like this. And then there are the people that walk into the room and they are assuming the power pose, they're owning the place, they're taking a big position in the room. And do you know that whether you're walking into a meeting at work, you're doing a presentation, that image of you as you enter the room and you take your space is 90% of how they're going to judge you. Right? So as women, we do tend to want to moderate our presence, perhaps sit small, take a defensive position, sometimes we do that. But really what she's talking about is that you may not feel like you're the big primate, you're the alpha dog, you're going to take control of the space and be dominant, but you can fake it for 2 minutes. Okay? Just fake it for 2 minutes and you will start feeling it. And in fact, what they've learned is that if you start to assume power roles and power positions, right? So you make yourself big. You watch the video, I'll send it to you all. You really look dominant and you make a practice of doing this. Kind of like going on a diet, if you have to be kind of disciplined about it. Not eating carbs is really not my thing, but you kind of make yourself do it. After a while, the science of your brain will change. You will start to feel more dominant. You'll feel more comfortable, confident, and aggressive. Comfortable, confident, and aggressive people take more risk. Powerful people take more risk. More risk-oriented people make more money. It has a direct correlation to capital and revenue and how much money you control. So it's very interesting. So I'll send it all to you, and I thought it was a fantastic, fantastic little tape. And she's got a great story because she was a brain-injured person, brilliant growing up, brain injury, has to recraft her life. And she's told that you are not going to be able to finish school, you're not going to be able to do this or that. She ends up teaching at Harvard, okay? She recrafts herself. So she understands kind of the whole dynamics of fake it till you make it, and remember that your body language influences your mind, and it influences your outcomes. So with that, I wanted to turn it over to Tracy to talk about marketing yourself. Thank you.
Is this working?
Let's give a big clap for our cat.
Thousands of dollars of personal coaches and life coaches and career coaches that can have really changed a lot of people's lives, men and women. And through our lives, we need coaching sometime to help us get over those milestones. Judy JERNUDD was just telling me that the biggest thing is the breakthroughs that you can see when you help somebody overcome something that they didn't know was getting in their way. And I think that's kind of what we all sometimes can do for each other as friends, cohorts, and as coaches. Joy CHUDACOFF has a business that she's been running and had her most successful year ever this year. We have Andi GROOMES, of course. Andi GROOMES, who is incredibly successful business coach as well. RODNEY, who ran a business and now is in charge of marketing and business development for ProVisors, one of the fastest growing, largest networking groups in California, actually maybe perhaps in the country. And she's been responsible for a lot of that growth this year, but she brings with her, because of that, an incredible insight into how to connect with people at meetings and follow up and all the things that are critical to networking. So each person's going to start with a couple minutes about themselves and their business.
Yeah, sure. So good morning, I'm Joy CHUDACOFF, and my company is Smart Women, Smart Solutions. We'll be 8 years old in January. And my work with women is with women who are in service-based businesses for a minimum of 2 years. And what I help them do through private and group programs is really increase their profits. And we do that through several ways. You have to identify who your ideal client is. You have to get an ideal profile. Create messaging that matches that profile. That's the one thing that I see most often in a lot of women-owned businesses, is that we don't have the profile actually really tied tightly and bridge it to the message that we're giving to the public on our websites and our marketing materials. And it's also important for you to become famous in your niche market, to really become known as an expert in your industry. That opens the door to referrals, so that you can network with people who do business the way you do business with people that you serve, but not in the same way. I mean, creating a good referral-based system, which we have a referral-based process that we use in our company, can increase your business by 20%. Almost overnight, because it's not just you now attracting people to your business, it's you have sort of like an army of people who support you. That's one of the great things I love about Broad Circle, is because that is what they do. They really support each other in business. You'll find that if you've been a member here for a while, or if you're new, this is your first meeting. I met a few people who were new here. But this is what I do with my company, and we do it through a 180-day process. So thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Andi GROOMES. Like bride and grooms, I like to say, so people remember. I'm with Threshold Advisors, and Threshold Advisors works primarily with the legal industry, but I've also done coaching with professional services like financial advisors. And what we do is help our clients. I like to say successful business development, because that's where I focus. It's like a dance. I love to dance. I like to help my clients learn to do their own dance. And the dance is because it's integrating your billable hours with business development activities, so you actually get on the path to developing the revenue and clients that you love. And that's what it's all about. You got to start with strategy, because that's where it starts. And I love to help my clients develop strategies that incorporate their interests, values, and their strengths, because if it doesn't incorporate that, you don't want to do it. It is hard enough to get out there and do what we do, but you got to incorporate you into it. So doing it your own way is important, and then developing consistent actions is important that you're going to take consistently. And I've been known as a kind of tough love accountability coach, so I tell you the truth. I get you out there, point you in the right direction, but structure counts, consistency counts. When you do that, you learn your own dance and you achieve what's important to you. So I love to do it. I love to dance. I want to help you love to do your own dance and figure out how to do that so that you accomplish
everything that you want. That's what we do with Threshold Advisors, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
So, does this work?
Yeah, you have to turn that.
So,
Maybe turn that one off.
where do I switch it?
Oh.
For now. So, now that's better. So I am basically a professional networker. I get paid to network, to meet people, and to connect people. And I came, and I love it. It's very enjoyable. It's very satisfying. And I came to this through a very interesting route. I was originally sitting in your situation. For many years, I was a professional service provider myself. And I had to learn how to do this. I had to learn how to do it. I was a marketing person, a marketing and branding consultant, and had my own business doing that. But it's very, very difficult to do this for yourself. So I experimented. I joined a lot of different networking groups. It took me many years for the light bulb to start to go on to figure out really how to do this right and how to do this effectively so that it really paid off, how to create these strategies. So I kind of learned by the seat of my pants. And I wound up just discovering by chance an organization called ProVisors. So I joined, and I was a member for 10 years, was very active in the organization, became a group leader in the organization. It was very effective for my business, my marketing business. I got probably 50% of my clients through the relationships that I created in ProVisors, because it's a very relationship-based organization. And it's set up in such a way, it's very well organized in such a way that it makes it easy for professionals to meet and connect and stay connected to one another. So it was successful for me. A couple of years ago, my partner decided to retire. And I was faced with the decision of, well, do I buy him out and run this myself or go in another direction? And it took me months and months of really depression and anxiety to say, well, I think I'm going to leave this business and do something else. And it took me quite a while to let my network know that I was in transition. It was very scary for me because I've been on my own for 30 years. And I wasn't sure if I was even employable. But the day after I put it out to my group and to ProVisors that I was in transition, that I was leaving my business and I was looking for something else to do, this position that I'm holding right now as Regional Development Director opened itself up to me, and it was great. And it was because of the power of my network and the people that I knew. So I tell you this story because it just shows you how important and how valuable it is to have these relationships, to create these relationships, to nurture them. And that's really what will skyrocket your success as a professional. We are not marketing people per se. We're not taught that. We have to learn it. And so it's not easy. But hopefully you can look to me to give you some tips on how to make it a little bit easier.
And we live in a world now where we're always marketing ourselves. You know, times have changed. Lawyers don't get to just practice law and be brilliant lawyers. Same with accountants. We all have to generate business at some point in our careers. Certainly after, you know, your 30s, 35s, the industries that we're in, they want to see us build business. And even in my own company, I look to the people who work with me to help generate business as well. Even if they're not getting the business, they should be getting the leads and they need to be networking. So it's really all of our jobs at this point. So one of the things that I think these guys are so brilliant at, and I'm always working on this for myself, and this is what I have to do for my clients, so you think, gosh, you don't have it nailed yet, but best elevator pitches. We all need that 30 seconds of who we are, what we do. That doesn't sound too salesy, doesn't sound fake. What do you suggest? Or what's your best one?
Well, I think I shared it with you. Did you hear it when I said it this morning that I help women in service-based businesses who've been in business for a minimum of 2 years increase their profits, attract more of their ideal client, and become known as becoming famous in their niche market. That's my elevator speech. I mean, that's
Sixth or seventh floor. That's good.
Yeah, right? There you go. Yeah. So it's, I mean, I think for me, it's important to, and this comes down to really doing that ideal client profile. You have to know who you're speaking to and your messaging. So you have to say exactly who you work with. You got to keep peeling back the layers like an apple. That's what I share with my clients. It's like your ideal client is like an apple at the core. Who is it that you do that genius work with? You have to really think about that. And then what is it you do with them?